In the world of key programming, there is a lot of information regarding the American vehicles, but not that much regarding European vehicles and specifically the BMW ones. I've tested multiple tools. Lately, I was playing around with the VVDI Mini and VVDI Bee, and taking into account my previous experience with the KM100, these are some of the observations that I've made that might help you decide on what tool to buy and what tool makes more sense for you. Let's address the elephant in the room and give some context to these tools. From a price perspective, this is the most affordable tool of its kind, continued with the Mini, the bigger brother that shares kind of the same software and platform being the KEYTOOL Max Pro. All of these are from Xhorse, and on the other side we have Autel with the KM100, and after that professional grade IM508 and 608 programming and all sorts of key cloning tools. The reason why you would want to use these types of tools can vary, but realistically these tools are not able to program the keys for the BMW, especially for the newer ones. I'm using them more to scan the actual fob, because sometimes if a key is locked to a vehicle, you cannot program it to something else. Without having these types of tools to diagnose the state of the tool or the key, you will find yourself in a lot of trouble when you want to actually code a fob to a vehicle. For the coding side of things, I'm using the ACDP2 specifically for the BMWs, and I wanted something similar to the capability of the KM100, only at a lower price. First, I started with the VVDI Mini, which is kind of in the middle of this food chain, and after that discovered that there is this little tool, which is the Bee, that gives the same scanning capability from a fob perspective at a fraction of the price. So what are my observations? VVDI is selling their special keys. These special keys realistically don't work with BMWs. Also, to have the overview, Xhorse and VVDI, they cater more for the older vehicles. If we actually look on their system, we are able to see that the majority of their keys and procedures are for the old E-series type keys and the even older ones that had the blade. Nothing for the F or G series, and you're kind of restricted when it comes to the vehicles that you can work on. Also, the same story is valid for the Minis. You don't have access to keys like this, you have only the old ones. Where I see these tools useful is when you actually want to scan the transponder and see if it is locked to the vehicle or not. And also these guys are giving you additional information regarding the VIN of the vehicle to which it is locked and the mileage of the vehicle, because the mileage is also stored on a key. This is useful information for people that want to check the mileage of a key, or for the people that are doing mileage correction, because they can confirm that the CAS module has also been corrected when they have done the work. On the other side of the pond, or on the other side for the Autel, the only affordable option and similar to the capabilities, the KM100, which again brings some universal keys, but these guys have more actual fobs available for BMW. The problem is that these guys have only the free one or the 300 frequency and the 315 and 433 versions, more catered to the American vehicles. So you find yourself either, if you're in America, using this type of tool, but if you're in Europe and you need the 868 frequency, you will buy generic BMW keys and diagnose them with this other little things. Entry level, this little Xhorse Bee, you need to connect it via USB to a tablet. Quite easy to use. I've used it multiple times. It's not as sensitive as the purposely built Xhorse Mini. This one is much better and much more sensitive. I've tested it on the coil of Honda Accord. It's more rugged. However, it has a hefty price tag, and it would make sense for someone that is actually doing all the cloning, programming stuff that these tools are capable of. From just a scanning point of view, the most effective version is this little scanning tool, because it's giving you the same information as the bigger brother, and you can spend your money on other tools. These types of devices would be more catered for DIY enthusiasts or people that want to solve a specific problem, because once you go for the bigger specific key locksmith tools, we are talking about higher price tags, more capability, but a hefty investment. These bigger brothers are also allowing you the possibility of actually programming the keys to some of the vehicles, but keep in mind that their capabilities will be usually limited to a CAS-free module. CAS4, CAS4 Plus will be for the more expensive tools. My setup, I'm using the ACDP2 BMW Pack. I'm able to code whatever CAS 1, 2, 3 and 4 and diagnosing the stuff with these little things. The software from Xtool can be accessed even if you don't have these tools. It brings together quite a lot of information. It has some interesting things. They are also giving you the possibility of renewing keys. This is one of the interesting bits that I've found. Where do we have that one? We go special function, renew keys. Let's try a BMW and this one. So you have the technical information with where you want to connect, and I've managed to use the ACDP2 to clear and reinitiate some of the older keys. But you could use this one with the software from here and do exactly the same thing. To note is that in the pack you don't receive the wires to actually connect to the key, but I found pinout for that cable, and I believe that if we cut this one, we are able to transform this cable in a cable that is able to perform this task. So if you have the need of saving a key that you have prepared locked for a vehicle, or maybe you want to use some older keys, the Mini is the better option out of these main ones. It always depends on the other devices that you have available. This little Xhorse Bee is capable of running on Android phones because it connects to the USB-C terminal. Also Android tablets. I made it run on this Xtool tablet, but for those of you that are using Apple products, this might be an issue and you might not be able to use this device. More rugged, more sensitive, doesn't allow programming but allows renewing the keys. Less rugged, more affordable, gives you the basics. Top of the range, more advanced. It also gives you the possibility of actually programming the keys to some vehicles. Price wise, £40, 80-ish, 400. Depending on the vehicles that you work on, if you're in America or if you want to work on Toyotas and other stuff, the KM100 is even better price than the bigger brother of these two, and comes with 2 smart keys from Autel. That might be useful. If you go for the BMW vehicles, you'll need specific keys for that. Links are available in the description. I hope that these insights will help you a bit in deciding which of these tools makes better sense for you. I'll be keeping this little one because it will only be used to see if a key is locked to a vehicle. This one is overkill, and later maybe I'm gonna get again the KM100. If you enjoyed this video, additional content about other diagnostic tools can be found on the channel. Thank you for watching and see you in the next one.